Everybody. Hi. Welcome to the George Mossey Show. We're going to be talking the Single Life Tell All Part 1. Season 4 of the Single Life Tell All Part 1. Hopefully you guys watched. It was kind of intense, right? I felt like it ended before it started, unfortunately. Hey, Melissa. I just got a DM from you. I'm going to answer it. Thank you so much. I love you too. Judy, hey. James is here. Hola, Judy. Dee Dee, where are you? Dee Dee's here. You don't see me. Melissa, I do see you. I always see you. I think I know who you are, Leanne. I think I know who you dated. Dee Dee, where you at? Get in here. Hey, hey. Hi.
Hi, how are
How are
you?
you? I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Where's Kara?
I have no idea. She doesn't want to join us?
I haven't talked to her, so yeah, Leanne, I know who you are. I know exactly who you are. Yeah, I sent her the Diva Speaks Hello. Hi. Coco is here. Portuguese Princess. Everybody's here. So,
Hi,
um,
everyone.
I sent Kara an invite. Hopefully she's gonna hop on here soon. So this tell-all, it was only an hour long. So we're gonna get another part, obviously, because we didn't even get to see Miss Karen come out and, attack Miss Debbie for calling Chantel, lack of a better word, a hoochie mama, right? I feel like she basically put her out there for the way that she carried herself in Greece. So I wanted to ask you, in 2024, are we still telling women how they should be carrying themselves? Like, let's go back to the beginning, right? Like the beginning, women were told that they had to dress a certain way and they had to honor their husbands. They had to cover up, they had to cook and clean. Like, I thought that at this point in time, we weren't telling women what they can and can't do. So I want to know, like, how you feel about that, because a lot of people feel like Miss Debbie didn't say anything wrong. So how do you feel about the advice that she gave to Chantel? Like, don't advertise you're not wearing underwear. Don't advertise, that you're kind of out here looking for a good time. I want to know where you feel. Wait, don't answer that. Kara's here. I'm going to ask you both the same question. Kara, get in here. Let me invite her. Okay, Kara, get in here. Because I want to get your opinion on this, because I kind of feel like I'm a guy, so nobody wants to hear what I have to say. I want to know what the ladies have to say. So I want to ask you, hey,
Hi.
how are you?
Hi.
It wasn't telling me you were live yet.
Oh, I didn't text. It's my fault, and I didn't post a story. Okay, so little backstory. Today was the day that they came to put the walls back in and the floorboards. So it's been kind of crazy. I'm like really, really, really tired because I couldn't sleep, and there's been a lot of craziness. But hey, Dawn. So it's been a roller coaster, and then I had to go back and forth to the Home Depot for outside reasons of them doing work on my house. Weird, right? So yeah, so it's been a day. But I wanted to ask you this question. So we saw Miss Debbie take on Chantel, and Chantel's actions in Greece. And it's funny because we had already talked about the way that she acted in Greece. We felt that she was coming off a bit thirsty. But how do you feel about Miss Debbie saying that the way that she carried herself was giving the wrong impression and making people feel like she was devaluing herself? Do you agree with that, or do you feel like women are allowed to dress sexy or feel sexy? Like, where do we draw the line between women are just feeling sexy and then women are devaluing themselves? Like, where does the line start? There? I don't understand.
I said she was devaluing herself all along.
Well, yeah, I remember we talked about this, and we said that she was making the bar and the standard low. Like, she was going out and looking for the lowest hanging fruit. You attract a certain type of man based on, walking around with no panties on, right? And I think that that's what Miss Debbie was trying to, convey to her. Like, there's a certain type of low hanging fruit that you're attracting with those type of behaviors. But at the same time, there's some people on Twitter like, she's a single woman. She was just out of a 7-year marriage. Let her have fun. So, like, I don't know where I stand.
I agree. You can be a single woman out of a 7-year marriage and having fun, but you also don't need to go announcing that you have no panties on.
I mean, a lot of people said that comment itself.
If you find the right guy, he's going to find out you have no panties on.
Right. So, yeah, see, that's what I was gonna say. A lot of people said that comment in itself could put her in danger because she's in a foreign country where she doesn't know the crime statistics or what parts of town are good, what parts of town are bad, or if there's a lot of assaults, in that type of environment, and then she's kind of advertising like, hey, it wouldn't be too difficult, and a lot of people are saying that announcement in itself could put her in danger. So I don't know. I just feel like I'm torn because I want her to be happy. I want her to date around, but I also want her to, raise the bar a little higher. I kind of feel like as an educated, beautiful woman who works in the medical field, she does keep the bar pretty low, right? Like she does. She doesn't really look for doctors or lawyers or well-to-do men. She kind of really, I'm not saying anything negative about Giannis, but is he really on the level of who should be with Chantel? Because she was talking about a relationship or an interaction with Waka Flocka, who's a really big rapper. He had his own TV show. He's been on, he was on Love and Hip Hop, and then he had his own TV show. Like he has a career in his own right. That's more along the lines of someone that, she should be opening up the communication with, not just a random guy that she meets at a bar and she sticks her tongue down his throat, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I think my opinion is she overdid it. Whether you're a man or a woman, you should be able to dress however you feel confident, however you feel sexy, however you feel handsome in your own body. But for her to go and just pretty much tell the whole world, I'm going without a bra and a pair of panties to see if I can get lucky tonight. That made her sound like she's a little corner whore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's how they talk. I mean, they're going around. I'm not saying she is. She's not. I'm just saying that it made her sound like it.
Yep.
Because how you just going to put it out there for the whole world to hear? No bra. You putting tape on your nipples and no panties.
Yep.
And then the split went all the way above her hips.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I agree with you, but in the back of my mind, I still feel like women should be able to express themselves in any way that they want. And I know in a perfect world they could, but we don't live in a perfect world. We live in this unsafe world, right? So
but you can be sexy. You can do all of that without announcing it. I mean, you don't have to tell the world.
That's true. Your attitude and how you carry yourself can show people beauty.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, a lot of people don't realize that beauty is not on the outside. It's the whole package. How you carry yourself, how you interact with people, the standard of respect. A lot of men are very attracted to a woman that's hard to get, a woman that knows her worth. Men will chase a woman down, like go out of their way to get the attention of a woman who wants nothing to do with him because he can sense that confidence and respect that she has for herself. And that's extremely attractive. When you walk up to a woman and she just sticks her tongue down your throat, there's no chasing that, unfortunately. And it's like a lot of men are turned off.
That screams easy. That screams, I am so easy. Take me now. Do whatever you want to do to me. I mean, no. Where is her? I know that Pedro did a number on her. I understand that. But at the end of the day, she's better than that. She's more than that. And she needs to watch that movie, what is it? How Stella Got Her Groove Back. I mean, she just needs to really be confident in the skin that she's in. She don't need to flaunt herself like that. I mean, because the right person, because Chantel's a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
She don't need, like I said, she don't need to be walking around just acting like she's a little corner whore. Yeah. And that's how she's been doing.
And we know she's not. And I think that's why it really got to Miss Debbie. And it kind of got to us too throughout the season because we're watching it and she's portraying something that we know is not true. We know that she respects herself. We know that she has pride. She goes to school. She has degrees. She has degrees. This is a very educated woman. So when we see her making herself appear to be not intelligent, it's kind of irritating. Because we're like, don't sell yourself short. You have a lot to offer. And whether or not your ex-husband saw that you had a lot to offer doesn't make it any less. And I feel like she's making it seem like, well, I have to make sure that I'm valuable to someone and they're going to be attracted to me. They're going to be attracted to you regardless. You need to make sure that you're looking for the right person for you. And it's, I don't know, it's the fact that she's still talking to Giannis and everything. I think that that's good. You know, I think that she should settle down and get to know someone. You know, don't just meet the first guy like what we saw in the first episode, stick your tongue down his throat.
Yeah.
Right? Like, talk to people, get to know people, see if they're actually somebody that you can build a relationship with. Speaking of building relationships, I want to talk about Tyree still being a virgin, because Miss Debbie thought very highly of that situation. And then we had Sarper, who came on to offer his 2 cents, because he has been involved with 2,501 women, because we have to throw Shekinah in there too. So how do we feel about Sarper's advice? Because he said that you should basically treat a woman as prey. Isn't that what he was saying? Like you prey on her, and well, maybe that's not the word he used, but he was basically saying that you come up from
He had to
behind.
be the tiger.
Yes, the tiger. Yes, and it was a very aggressive way of courting a woman. And I'm wondering, because I want to ask, I always want to get a woman's opinion. How do you feel about that aggressiveness of a man approaching you? Is that something that you find attractive, or is it something you find obnoxious?
That'll
If he
get you
wants to get throat
punched.
punch, go right ahead.
It's gonna get you punched in the face and kicked in the balls. That jackass should have never been on this show.
I wanted to punch my screen.
I
Why?
love that Debbie was like, of all people to corrupt this innocent man, you brought this dirtbag to try and corrupt him. And it's like, okay, can you hear me?
Nope, we lost him. We lost you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Okay. I understand that they want to try to get Tyree laid. I get it. And I get they want to increase, the speed of making that happen. But I do feel like, somebody made a comment. I kind of feel like it was Boston John. He said that Tyree instantly friend zones himself. And I wanted to get your opinion on that. Do you think Tyree approaches women in a too much of a friendly manner, and it's not more of a what's the word, where you're attracted, like in more of a way that you're trying to get to know them in a more serious way? Because I did notice we were talking about the nervous giggle, and they were like, oh, well, you definitely friend zone yourself. And he is a really friendly person. Like, Tyree could walk up probably to any stranger and hold a conversation, but I don't know if that conversation would turn into a relationship. So how do you guys feel about that? Is it possible for a man to be too friendly or too outgoing or too easygoing to where there's no attraction there?
Tyree's such a sweetheart. He is such a sweetheart. If anybody would just take the time to give him 5 minutes to talk, they'd fall in love with him. I think he is such a doll. I get his nervous giggle. Sarper can say all that shit about his nervous giggle because Sarper has the personality of a wet rag. And that's being so nice. That guy, he's such an idiot. He shouldn't be given advice at all. But I can see that Tyree does kind of friend himself.
So you see it too. Okay, do you see it too?
Women with respect. He approaches women with respect.
But
I mean, and it's hard to find that in men these days because men don't approach women with respect anymore.
But Dee Dee, is that a negative thing? Are women
it's not.
Are women so accustomed to douchebags that when a man actually comes with respect and treats a woman like a gentleman, is it a turnoff now because they're so accustomed to douchebags?
I don't think it's a turnoff, but I think that what I mean by Tyree puts himself in the friend zone is he starts talking to someone who's genuinely interested, and if they don't make the first move, Tyree's like, cool, let's be friends. You're super nice, you're super chill, let's be friends. He friend zones himself. It has nothing to do with who he is as a person or anything like that. He's not pushy. He's not a dickhead like Sarper. So he's just like, yeah, let's be friends. Now,
he was talking about his fear of rejection. And I think that the rejection fear is what's friend zoning him the most. Because, I've gone to job interviews and got rejected, right? And it hurts when you put yourself out there, you think you're doing well, and then they send you a little email saying, nah, no chance. Yeah. Like, I get the rejection. And I think that when we're younger, I think the fear of rejection, we're more afraid of it. And I think as we get older and we experience more rejection, it's more of a part of life, kind of like what they were trying to explain on the show. It's a part of life. The worst somebody can tell you is no. You know, like you can go into the situation and there's only two ways it can go. It can go the way you want it or the way you don't. And then we just kind of take that risk, kind of like you go to the casino, you put it all on 7 or whatever, or 13, you just try it. And I think that Tyree has gotten to the point where him being such a kind-hearted person, that rejection, it literally tears him apart. Because he would never treat someone like that. He wouldn't reject anyone. Like you said, he would instantly befriend anyone. There isn't anyone that Tyree wouldn't be there for. Yeah. So I feel like rejection for him is like, it's huge. Like, it's almost like me of my fear of water. Like, if you push me, I told you, if you push me in the lake, I'm going to drown. I can't swim. Right. I would literally just die of a heart attack. I wouldn't even try to paddle. But I feel like that's how intense his fear of rejection got. And I kind of feel like that's how we got here. That's how he got to this age without, you know, finally pulling the trigger and making that first move, because he's just so afraid that he won't be able to handle the rejection.
Right.
Well, and being catfished on top of that, you know, he put himself out there. He put his 100% of him into the relationship for 4 years just to find out that he was catfished by a guy.
Right.
So that right there would make anybody scared, man or woman, if you're being catfished and being lied to. I mean,
well, yeah,
anybody would be afraid to get rejected.
That doesn't help the situation at all. I think that any ounce of confidence that he had built up over the years, he lost in that catfish situation, because not only did he find out he was being catfished, he found out he was being catfished on TV with like 1 million people. So like, yeah, it's not like he just figured it out with his sister and he was able to go home and cry. He had to deal with it with all of us criticizing the situation on top of it. And I think that really brought him back down, you know, to that scared little boy, you know, that little, like, well, I just don't want to handle it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to, you know, the hiding from your problems. You know, we've all done it. We know that there's something going on and we'll figure every type of way to pretend like it's not going to happen so we don't have to face it. And I kind of feel like that's where he got, because I was hoping that when they asked if he was still a virgin at the tell-all, I was like, oh, he's definitely, because he kind of walked in with a little confidence, right? Did y'all feel the confidence when he got there? I was like, that seems like the confidence of a guy who's not a virgin anymore. But I was mistaken. It's not. But he said that the girl, Raina, they had spoken within the last 2 weeks, which I don't think is good, because if it's serious, you would have spoken more frequently than that, right? I feel like
she did say that she seen him as a friend.
Yeah. Well, see, I think everyone does. When you don't make a move on a woman, she assumes, because we kind of saw this with Louisa and Tim, she's going to assume that you're not interested, right? Like women.
But he did say, you want these beads, and he tried to do the kiss thing, and that didn't go well. He was just that was just the wrong time. He had a little bit of liquid courage, which he should have every time. If that's what he needs, that's what he should have. So he had a little bit of liquid courage, but his mistake was instantly he went to the questions. So if we're serious, how do you feel about long distance?
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. That's scary shit.
Yeah.
You're automatically like, whoa, hang on. So he's either his foot all the way on the gas or his foot all the way on the brake. Yeah. There is no half.
I think you're right. It's one or the other. He's either coming on a little too strong, because who would have thought Tyree could come on too strong? Right. But he kind of did in that situation where they literally were just interacting. They met earlier in the day, and then that night he's already trying to stick his tongue in her mouth. That's a little much.
Yeah.
You know, women, at this point in time where women are literally harassed just because you're a woman, it's not because of the way you're carrying yourself. It's not because people have a reputation about you. Men harass women all the time. I've gone to malls and stores and seen women minding their own business, shopping, and men, hey, can I get your number? Hey, you look good. Hey, are you married? You got a man? Literally trying to mind their own business. Women are harassed everywhere that they go. They can't go to the grocery store, the gas station, the hospital, anywhere. So I think that coming on too strong is something that women are really, you know, they're basically reacting different to it. You know, they're more aggressive, because men are more aggressive. You know, in the dating world, everybody's more aggressive. So I feel like a lot of times when a man comes on too strong, a woman shuts down completely. She's like, well, you know what? I don't want to deal with that type of aggression. That's not the type of mate, you know, that I would want. I don't want someone like Sarper. Sarper's going to come off too aggressive. And most women, excluding Shekinah, will find that annoying. You know, most women will be like, well, I don't want somebody to tell me what to eat, how to dress, where to go, what to say. I don't want that type of intensity in my relationship. So a lot of women look at it as, well, I'm not going to deal with that. So scoot your ass on by. You know, like I'm next talk to the next person.
Yeah, I don't think they should have brought Sarper on at all. He was on for 12 minutes. He had the shittiest relationship. We already forgot who he is. Like, why bring him back? He was horrible. That was the worst person to give Tyree advice.
Yeah.
You telling the truth right there, Kara, because oh my gosh. When John said, do what?
Did it even make sense though?
No. When John said that that they were bringing on someone with a lot of experience as being with 2,500 women, I was like, I know these people ain't about to bring Sarper on this damn TV.
Yeah.
And lo and behold,
I had heard people talking about it on blogs that he was on. I don't know how people be finding out stuff, but they said that he was going to be on, and I couldn't put my finger on why. So when she was saying, I was like, of all the reasons to bring him on the show, you're going to try to use him as though he's a expert in this, you know? And I was like, of all the things, he's
so
the least.
Basically, they bring this guy on that's been with 1 billion women, supposedly. He comes out, tells Tyree how to rape a woman, and then that's it. Like, what the hell was the point of having him there? That was,
like
TLC
Miss Debbie said, he is a dog.
Yes. I thought Debbie was on point tonight. She called out everybody that needed to be called out, and she let people know what they were doing was right or wrong. And I feel like that's why we love her. She's everybody's mom, right? This Debbie is everybody's mom, and she wants what's best for you. You know, I was a little torn, not going to lie, with her advice for Chantel, because I was like, I mean, I get it. You don't want to attract the lowest, you know, guy possible at the bar, right? But you also, I don't know, I want her to be free, as in who she wants to be, how she wants to dress, how she wants to express herself. So I'm kind of in the middle, you know, because I feel like no one should ever tell a woman what to do with her body, or how she dresses, or what she eats, or where she goes. I feel like we've been doing that for too long, and I feel like
Miss Debbie came on with the mom mentality.
Yeah, it's interesting because Miss Karen is going to come out and defend Chantel when everybody on Twitter believes that Miss Karen should come out and say, thank you for steering my daughter in the right direction. That's what everybody was saying. They're like, I don't like how she's going to come out and try to attack Miss Debbie. Nothing in that advice was not what a mother would give a daughter that they loved, right? She was not insulting her. And I think a lot of people will hear someone say, oh, well, you know, it makes you look like you're easy, and they'll get insulted. And I think a lot of times we have to realize when someone wants you to portray yourself in a certain way because of who you are, they're not insulting you. They want people to see you for what you are and who you are, and not a misconception. You know, because it's so easy to get a bad reputation nowadays. You do one thing, you make one mistake, you date one wrong person, and now you're stuck with this bad reputation, and everybody prejudges you based on that one thing that you've done. So I felt like Debbie was on point with that. But I want to talk about this Jamal and Veronica thing. So Veronica and Tim were sitting next to each other, which we had commented on this a little bit before. But I guess it's because both of their love interests have turned on them and now joined forces to come after them, which is what we saw a little bit of tonight. So how do you guys feel about Jamal and Louisa kind of joining forces to attack, you know, the Tim and Veronica force of what are toxicity? We'll call them the force of toxicity. I thought that. So you love it. You love the fact that they came after them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because someone is finally calling them out on their bullshit.
Do you think it's interesting that Tim and Veronica talk major crap about each other to other people, but they consider themselves to be best friends? Like, I have a best friend, and I don't talk major crap about my best friend to other people. So I'm wondering how this dynamic works. So they're like, oh yeah, when we hate each other, we say all types of horrible things about each other, but they're sitting next to each other on the couch. That's such a toxic environment for me. Like, if I love someone and they're my best friend and I want nothing but the best for them, I'm not going to turn to one of my other friends and say how stupid they are, or how annoying they are, or how they piss me off, or how they're, I don't know. I just was raised a little differently, I guess. Right? Like, I feel like my friend is my friend, and I'm going to have their back, and I'm never going to say negative things about them behind their back because I consider them my friend, right?
Absolutely. But
Well, we all know they don't like okay, let's go back. We already know that Tim low key still wants to be with Veronica. We already know that. That's why nobody is ever good enough for Veronica. He's going to do everything he can to break them up. And Veronica, I don't think she wants to be with him, but she don't want nobody to take her place. That's why she's always going against everybody he's with.
but
So, but
hold
at the end
on.
of the day, they're going to keep attacking each other and then talking BS about each other, and they're not true friends to nobody, not even to their own self. I mean, they're hypocrites.
Yeah.
They are hypocrites.
Here's what pissed me off the most about the whole situation. I mean, aside from everything, but it's Veronica and Jamal on the single life, right?
Right.
Tim was just there.
Yeah.
He wasn't really on there. He sees Louisa. She's a way better person than Tim altogether.
Yes.
Why did Tim and Veronica come out, sit on the couch together, then Jamal and Louisa get brought out and then have to leave? Jamal was on the freaking show. Why?
Yeah.
He's not like a guest star. Why did he leave? He should
I
have been
don't-
on there talking through the whole thing.
I didn't understand it either. It's almost like they casted Tim and Veronica, and then they just used Jamal and Louisa to make it make sense. Is that how you felt?
Yeah.
Like, because the way that they sat on the couch and they get to sit out through the whole tell-all, right? Why do you get to sit out through the whole tell-all? Your love interest, who was on every episode with you,
Yes.
doesn't get to sit out. I didn't understand it, and I'm trying to understand
And
what
then-
makes Tim and Veronica
And
a
then
package deal.
they're going to ask the question. Then they want to talk to Tim about his interest with Louisa. Why?
Yeah.
They weren't even the stars on the single life.
Nope.
I mean, Tim was supposed to be there to just give her emotional support because she's been through a lot the past year.
Mhm.
I call BS. That is freaking BS. I bet anything they've got some kind of contract with TLC that the only way that they're going to film is if they always together.
Yep. I
Well,
agree.
We've never seen them not together, because let's not forget, all throughout Veronica's previous season on The Single Life, Tim was there.
Yep.
Their Pillow Talks episodes, Tim is there. They're a package deal. And I'm trying to understand why that is. Like, where in the contract does it say that you get both? It's like a 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah.
And they can't be separated.
I mean, even whenever Tim was very first come on the 90 Day Fiance, whenever he went to over, what was it, in Colombia, and Veronica was there. Veronica wasn't even the main person, but it's like ever since that one season with Tim, it's like we can't get rid of them. They always have to be together. Even when Tim's on the single life, Veronica is there, or if it's Veronica, Tim is there. And they always together. They never sit on the couple's couch with their couple. They always sit with each other.
This happened on the tell-all from her first Single Life season. Tim was sitting next to her then. It's the same crap. And it's like, either y'all want to be together or y'all are just doing this for the money at this point.
But it's
like, you're not fooling
never,
anybody.
It's never, thanks for your input, Tim. We'll see you later.
Well, right.
But they did that to Jamal, and Jamal was casted for the show.
Mm-hmm.
Why the hell? I want Jamal on the stage through all of it. I want his opinion on everybody. He was there. Tim, good job dyeing your hair. Good job dyeing your face. Nice blue shoes. Get out. Like, why are you there?
I don't get it. I don't. And you're right. The way that they disposed of Tim and Jamal and Louisa 5 minutes into bringing them on was just questionable to me, as though they were scared what else they were going to say. Because it seemed like they were ready to expose whatever they needed to expose. And I feel like Tim and Veronica may have told producers, don't let them expose us on TV. And then all of a sudden they had to be removed. 5 minutes after coming out on stage, when they were both casted on the show, they were literally casted as the love interest of two people on the show. So if John and Megan and everybody else can sit on the stage the whole time, why can't Tim and Louisa stay out as well? And it's like, what are you trying to hide? What were they going to say
because
that you thought would
tell the truth about everything?
Yeah,
Yep.
I think that's what it was. I kind of do, because the way Veronica responded to Louisa when she started running her mouth, she's like, "Oh, you're dead to me. I don't care. I will never talk to you." Like, the way that she reacted, it made me feel like there was some truth and validity to what she had to say.
Then
Because
she gets up, she storms off, and comes back and sits down. And the only thing she said was to Tim, and she said, "Sorry, I bailed on you."
right, and then 2 minutes later, they got to go, as though she had a conversation backstage
Yep.
with an executive producer, and all of a sudden, she's calling the shots.
Yep.
That's how it looks to me, you know. And
Well,
the
like I
fact,
always say, the guilty dog always barks.
Yep.
well, how do we feel? Do you think that Veronica? I mean, I don't understand what was to gain for Louisa to lie, but do you think that Veronica said that Jamal was trash?
Yeah.
Do you think that that's true?
100%. I don't think Louisa's lying at all.
She
Well,
probably did.
I don't understand the purpose of what would she gain from lying.
Right.
Telling the truth or lying, she was still going to be on the show. She was still going to be on the tell-all. Her check amount would be the same. So what difference would it make for her to lie? But the way that Veronica reacted made me realize she was telling the truth. Because when somebody says something that I did or said that I didn't do, I don't get up, scream, throw things, yell, run away. I defend myself in a calm manner. I'm like, "Oh no, you got me mixed up with somebody else." First of all, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
But the way that she reacted, I was like, "Oh, well, she's airing some shit that you don't want people to hear."
Yep.
Because you got up, you start screaming, you said she was unalive to you. You know, like that's like, this is basically like you want to fight.
You told her to go to hell.
Right.
Yep.
I was like, well, she basically said what you said, and now you're pissed off because all of America knows you're not who you say you are. Now you're upset.
Yeah.
The guilty dog always barks first.
They do. They do. And I'm really excited to see, because I heard that Jamal and Veronica, or Jamal and Louisa, are brought back out, and they are going to go back and they're going to ask some more questions. I think we saw a little bit on the preview for next week's tell-all that we are going to get to hear the rest of the side, because, you know, Louisa and Veronica were buddy-buddy. So I want to know what took place that Louisa and Veronica are no longer cool, and, you know, she wants nothing to do with Tim. Obviously, her mannerisms and answers towards Tim shows that she's pissed at him too. So something went down when the cameras went away, and I would love to know what it is, because we're finally getting a little.
I got a theory.
What's
Like
your
I always
theory?
do. I think when the cameras wasn't rolling, I'm not talking bad about nobody, so guys, don't come after me, okay? But I think when the cameras wasn't rolling, I think Jamal and Louisa hooked up.
I hope so.
Because
That's what
I
I've said
think
all
that's
along.
why Louisa doesn't care, is acting the way she's acting towards Tim, because I think maybe secretly under the cover, under the rug, how you want to say it, they're in a relationship.
Really?
Mhm.
I think
When do
so.
you think that this relationship would have started? Like, while they were still with the other people, or after the fact, or
As soon as the filming ended.
so after?
I think I think it happened between the time that they were introduced each other on the show, because if you watch what Jamal was saying to her in the back, and then if you watch their chemistry and you watch how they're acting and talking to each other, I'm telling you,
Yep.
if they're not in a relationship, he done banged it.
They're in a relationship.
With all due respect.
They're in a relationship.
Really?
He said, the way he said, "I got you," the way he touched her knee, the way he kept whispering to her, they had more chemistry than anybody on the stage. Period.
They did. They had each other's
I
back.
mean, and they would make a cute couple.
Oh,
They
yeah.
would make a cute couple.
Yep.
I can't disagree. They're two beautiful people, and I always say, what's the harm in two people getting together and they respect each other, everybody's happy? What's the harm,
Yep.
right? And it's easy to join forces when you have a common enemy, right? So Tim and Veronica are the common enemy for both, and it's very easy to see the common and similarity in your situation when you're both dealing with, you know, two people that I'm assuming did some stuff to you. Because the way that they came out, you're right, the backstage, the little pep talk it made me wonder what was going on, because she was like, I'm nervous. He's like, oh, I got you, we got this. I'm like, what's about to go down? Like,
Yeah.
what is so intense that it's going to get to that point where they have to have each other's back? And I was like, that's really weird, because they are the opposite interest of two people, you know, like, so why are they the ones that bonded and they're out here joining forces against the two people that they were supposed to be in a relationship with? So I really want to know what took place between when we saw them last and now, because it's clearly a dynamic that's very, very different. And it seems as though, like you said, they have a bond that shows something might happen, which I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at.
I've been saying it from the get-go. Since they sat down in that restaurant that Jamal needs to be with her.
You did. You said that she's way more his type, and they look like a couple, because a lot of people kept saying that Jamal and Veronica didn't look like a couple. Did y'all feel like that? Did you feel like they didn't look like a couple together? I did feel like it was awkward, right?
Jamal and Veronica look more like mother and son to me.
Really?
And then especially the way she talked to him and how she treated him.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm on Jamal's side with that, because Veronica, every time I seen them, Veronica was always telling him something, everything he was doing was wrong. Something was always wrong. It's like she was never happy. It's like she was always having to get on to a child. So, no, I didn't see them as a couple. I seen them as a mother and son duo.
Very, very condescending, always putting him in his place, telling him how to act. Don't do this, don't say that. I never saw them as a couple.
I
was hoping Kim would walk out. I think everybody wanted Kim to walk out.
Well, yeah, I did want, when the comment said, you know, she said that you're trash, you're unemployed, and I don't know why I would even be with someone. I was like, where's my bestie at? It's like,
There's no way. There is no way Kim's not coming.
I needed her. Yeah, I needed her to come out to speak. You know, that is something. Like, can you imagine if somebody said something like that about Chloe? Like, the fact that people can fix their lips to talk to people and about people's children, and, you know, that's it. And I know he's a grown man, but in any mother's eyes, that's her child.
Absolutely.
And you're saying these horrific, terrible things. And the situation, I think Jamal was trying to explain, he was like, well, I lived in New York. I was working. He was going to school. He's in law school. And his grandmother passed away. And then a year later, his aunt passed away. And then there was like a situation where he had to help his mom. She was selling her childhood home, and she had to find a new home. There was a lot going on. And he said that Veronica told him, like, she can handle her own stuff. You should stay here with me. Yeah. And I thought that was a really terrible thing to say. To tell someone that they shouldn't be there for their family, the person that raised them, the person that gave birth to them, okay? Yeah. Like, to say, I'm more important than that person. It's crazy to me that she would say that when she's a mother herself, right? Yeah. Like, why would you think that that's okay?
I was waiting for Kim to bust out of that curtain and just beat her ass right there.
Me too. Kim,
I was surprised.
We need to see you on the tell-all, okay? You need to make an appearance on the tell-all. Whoop Veronica's ass.
They can get a stripper to show up for a tell-all. They can get Kim to show up, you know, to put Veronica in her place. Because I felt like those comments were just crazy. And it's like, if you don't feel like a person is on your level or good enough for you, then don't date them. Yep. Don't date them and then put them down and degrade them because you feel like you're better than them. I don't like that.
Yeah.
It's totally fine that there are people on different wavelengths. You know, sometimes you meet someone, y'all are in different places in life, which is to be understandable. He's way younger than her.
Yep.
They're in different places in life. But to date them anyway and then talk crap, you know, and I don't care if it was the other way around, a different couple or whatever. If you don't want to be with somebody, you don't have to be with them. No one is forcing you to do anything. You do not have to make it seem like that person is not good enough for you. They just aren't the right person for you. No one is better than anyone. Yep. We are all equal beings on this planet. There are people that don't fit into your life. They can't make a relationship work with you because your lives and the things going on in your lives are too different. But don't make it seem like you're just so much better than somebody and they're below you and they're trash. I don't like that. It really opened my eyes because we've seen them for so long on this show, 7-something years, and we're finally kind of getting an idea of who they are behind the scenes. We've never really gotten anybody who was able to tell us what was really going on until now.
Yeah.
Yeah. and now they're trying to keep them quiet. But I can say this is multiple times now that we've seen that Jamal he's respectful. He's young, but he is respectful, and Kim has done a very good job raising him because no matter what, he's got his mom's back, and that
Absolutely.
tells a lot about a child. No
It does.
matter how old your child is, if they still got your back, you done something right.
Yep.
And I do want to bring up, he did apologize because I know we were talking about the deuces text. He was like something on deuces or take care of deuces, peace sign or whatever, and that's how they broke up. I did want to bring up he apologized for that because I'm not going to sit here and say that that's a acceptable way to end a relationship. I don't care if you are angry with the person or it didn't work out. You still should give the person enough respect of calling them on the phone and hearing your voice.
Yeah.
And explain to them what was going on, because she even said she waited a couple weeks and then tried to reach out again, and I think that it shows a lot as a man for him to say, look, that was immature and stupid of me, and I shouldn't have treated you that way. Even if we didn't work out, even if we're going to get over our differences, I should have given you much more respect in the breakup process. Because I think that a lot of men, they take cop-outs when it comes to the breakup process. They text you or they don't text you at all. At this point, people start ghosting people. They don't even text you at all. And I think that it's very disrespectful and immature. I think that men need to start being a man about it and telling people why they don't want to be with them anymore.
Yep. I agree. That was wrong, but he apologized and, manned up to it.
Well, yeah.
That's all he can do.
You have to own your shit, like I think that I learned this from Scott, because Scott, he says all the time, he's like, I'm not perfect, I screw up all the time, but I own my shit. And he does. He goes on his lives and he talks about every mistake he's ever made in his entire life, and he takes responsibility for it, and I respect that. I mean, I don't think that you should air your dirty laundry for everybody every day, but I think that I respect people who say, yeah, I did this, it was wrong, I hurt this person, or this person was hurt in the process, that wasn't my intention, and I take responsibility. I think that it says a lot about you as a person.
Yeah.
It says a lot, because I know I've made mistakes, we've all made mistakes, and then there's some people who will never admit to you that they made a mistake. And I'm like, well, you got to humanize yourself, right? Like, you can't say that you're like God and you're perfect and then we're all down here making mistakes. We all did something bad. The point that you can bring it up and say, yeah, remember when I did that? I could have did that a little better. I'm sorry about that. And I respect anybody who does that. Even if Ed did it. If Ed came on TV and said, I treated Liz really bad and I should have treated her better, I would respect him a little bit more, because that is the truth. He'll never do it. But I
don't know. If I feel like once you've lost respect for someone, you're just not getting it back. I'm sorry. I will never respect that man. I will never respect Angela. I won't. I just won't. I don't give a shit if he came on.
Even if they apologized and said, no, so it's still done.
No, he's a horrible human. And so is he.
Yeah, I agree with you 130,000%.
No, I have no respect, and I'm not getting it back.
I mean, I'm not going to be a fan, but if he was to go and apologize to Liz, which I think he owes her a massive apology.
He has. He apologized.
But did he mean it?
No, he didn't mean it.
Supposedly, he meant it on The Last Resort. Sorry, blah, blah, blah.
He ain't mean that.
That man has apologized to her. So, it's like it went in one ear and out the other. He was saying it just to say it.
He was saying it.
I started losing respect for him whenever he first come on 90 Day Fiancé, because how he acted, and then how rude he was towards Rose.
Yeah. But that's exactly my point.
Yeah.
You said if he goes on and apologizes to Liz, you would respect him a little more.
Yeah.
You will never, ever, ever get a genuine apology from this guy.
No,
so no matter what he does, I will never respect him, because it will never be real. Never.
That's true. Even with tears in her eyes, she's never gotten a genuine apology.
Never.
He's never admitted the things that he did to degrade her, make her feel less than, telling her that she couldn't accept jobs or opportunities because it would interfere with his life. He's never opened up and said, hey, those were horrific, terrible things that I should have never said to you. And the fact that I thought that you should give up situations that could improve your life because I didn't like it, I should apologize. He's never going to see it like that, because I think that when you're that much of a narcissist, your behavior is always justified.
And
you
same
you are
with Angela. Same with Angela. When she's pulled so much bullshit over the years, but even when she got in Liz's face and then apologized on the next episode, it was, I'm sorry, but
yeah
but you weren't part of the conversation, but you walked away, but it's always a but,
yeah
and but means forget everything I just said before that. So I'm
yeah
sorry, but
yeah. When you add the but into an apology, it means that you're placing blame somewhere other than yourself,
yes,
right? Like you're like, well, I'm sorry, but you, and then it's like, but you have to take all the blame because that's what an apology is. An apology
yes.
means I take responsibility for this situation, this action. And if you can't take full responsibility for the action, then you're not sorry. Then you don't
Theirs is
apologize.
more like their apologies are more like, I'm sorry that you made me feel.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
you're actually
ridiculous.
100% right.
I have
You're
no
100%
respect
right.
for these people. None.
Because yeah, you're that's an interesting realization because now that I'm looking back, narcissists do apologize, but just the way you say that they
Yep.
do. They never offer a genuine apology where they're genuinely sorry. It's
Right.
always, well, I'm sorry that you made me feel insecure and then I went to cheat on you and then you cried. Like that's always what it sounds like. They never did anything wrong. You pushed them to do something and then now they're sorry that you had your hand in the situation. So you're right. So I retract my statement. I retract my statement now because I don't think that I could respectfully respect him anymore because I would never get an actual apology that was legit,
Right.
decent. Because decent people isn't it.
Yeah.
right? Like decent people isn't it. So it is what it is. Unfortunately, Ed is Ed. And you know, we've I think that if we were gonna see a better side of him, we would have saw it by now because it's been what, 8 years?
It's
Maybe
been a
not.
very
Yeah.
long
Yeah, if
time.
we were
Too
gonna
long.
see a better side of him, we would have saw that side of him somewhere. And we haven't. So the dude
Yep.
had a tattoo of himself. Yes, he does have a tattoo of himself. That says a lot too.
Yeah.
That says a lot too.
A lot.
You get yourself tattooed on
He
your
is
body.
full of himself.
You
Full of
are
himself.
in love with yourself. And oh, so who do we not talk about? We talked about everybody so far. We talked about
Yeah.
Chanel,
John.
Ray. Well, we're gonna get a little Ashley and Josh, not Ashley, Natalie and Josh. But we didn't get them this episode. And we're gonna get John and Megan. We didn't really get them much this episode. When we
John
got
was
John,
awesome on this episode, though, I have to say.
yeah,
He's
John was
putting in some input on everybody, and it's not over the top, but
and
so far he's pretty legit on everything he said.
he seems pretty progressive in being a good guy, right? Like I saw a good, decent version of him tonight. You know, because we were worried that he was getting into something that he was not ready to do, and he said that he so far when this was filmed, he was still in San Antonio,
Yeah.
which I think none of us thought would be a situation. So maybe he's ready to mature. I mean, they're gonna bring Patrick and Thais out. So we're going to get a little more insight on that. And then we're going to hear from Megan. Somebody gets proposed to on this tell-all. This is what Sean has been
And
teasing.
the way they were acting is like Josh is fixing
Yeah.
to propose to Natalie.
I think that it's clickbait. I think that because we've seen a photo with Boston John with a ring on his finger recently. And I don't think Josh is stupid enough to propose to Natalie. I do think that Josh is a stupid man because he dated he dated Natalie. He got her an apartment. He bought her a car. He went through all this. He's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, right? But I don't think that he's to the point of that dumb that he would propose to her. And I mean, everybody was trying to explain to Natalie. I saw in the preview, they were like, he likes you enough to sleep with you, but he doesn't like you enough to marry you. And that's going to be the story of her life because she's got issues that she's got to deal with, you know, because this was going to be husband number 4, so
you know what would be the best TLC twist ever is if Jamal proposed to Louisa. Nobody would see that coming.
That would be the most unexpected. I would never expect that because I see Jamal as not ready to settle down. But who's to say what we know? Because Boston John, when we met him when he was living with Patrick, said he was never going to settle down. So it's like,
Or
it wouldn't be the strangest thing to happen, right? Like, we don't, and
When
he's
the
still
right
with.
person comes around, I mean,
That's what they
that
say.
would be awesome.
When
I
the
mean, we
right
all
girl
know who
comes
it is.
around, you
We
put
all
a
know
ring
he's
on
gonna
that finger.
do it.
I would
But
I would be very happy with them. And since there's no rules in 90 Day Fiance, we could watch them on Happily Ever After.
yeah,
Because there's no
yeah,
rules. You don't have to be from a foreign country, and there's no visas involved in what. There's no rules. You can just do whatever you want. So they could just throw Jamal and Louisa on the Happily Ever After next season, and we'll be good to go,
yes,
right? Because there's no rules. We're watching Ed and Liz, right? Like, there's no rules. You just do whatever you want.
yep.
All right,
That would
apparently
be
so, because everybody else is doing whatever they want.
well, yeah, the rules are out the window. As long as it's making them money, you can do whatever you want, and the more money, the better, right? Like, I feel like that's the avenue that the show is going in.
I
But
mean, we're
next,
bringing the other Debbie on for what reason? So
yeah, Colty's Debbie is there, and it kind of looks like her and Miss Debbie are going at it, and that's gonna be fun. I really like watching Miss Debbie take people on. Right? I
yeah,
don't know why I'm enjoying this so much, but I really like it. I kind of feel like everything that she says is something that my mom would say. So I kind of feel like it's giving me the nostalgic, bringing me back. Like, because she's trying to help people. And, you know, for people born in a newer generation, it's coming across as rude. Because, you know, the younger generation, they're offended by everything. So by her
yeah,
telling you some good advice, you look at it as she's criticizing you. Because, you know, that's how people are these days. But I think that she's really stepping up, you know, and she's telling people, hey, do better with your life, you know, and I agree with that 100%, especially with Sarper. Do better, bro.
yeah,
Like, she was like, how do you think your mom and dad feel that you run around talking about you had sex with 2,500 women? And my mom would be pissed at me,
yeah,
right? Like, I was raised in the church. We went to church 6 days a week. I went to Christian school. My mom would be so pissed if I went around saying stuff like that in public. So that comment resonated with me, because I was like, man, if my mom heard that I was going around saying stuff like that and disrespectful towards women in general, you know, just saying, oh, you should just, you know, just they want you, you just have to go and make moves on them and come up behind them. And like, my mom would, I don't know if she would get on a plane, but she would come out here and smack me. I don't know if
yep.
y'all were raised in the smack me days.
Oh,
I was smacked
yeah,
a lot. Yeah,
I was
so she was.
raised and they would throat punch you real quick.
Yes,
yep.
my mom would most likely smack me, and she's 70. She still get the courage to smack me, right? She
You
would
bet your
she
ass.
would do it, because
Yep.
that is not how I was raised, and she would not want me out here. Because even Debbie said, she's like, it's kind of shameful to your family, right? And my mom is still in that religious cult that I grew up in, so I would bring a lot of shame. You know, nobody wants to hear that I'm doing something like that. Oh, right, Kelly Dice, your mom is 86. Wow, it's amazing. And she probably would smack you.
Yep.
Because in that day, because we're always gonna be kids. My mom still tells me, when my mom calls me and I cuss, she's like, stop cussing.
Yeah.
Like, she's still my mom. She doesn't care how old that I get. She don't want me cussing. She don't want me doing anything like that. So that comment resonated with me. So next week I want to watch Miss Debbie destroy a few more people, right?
Yep.
Oh, and we're gonna see Miss Karen come out and come at Miss Debbie, which I don't think is a good idea, because I feel like Miss Debbie has got it in her to go back and forth. You know how Lydia wouldn't want to go back and forth with Miss Karen because she was scared? I don't
Yeah.
think Miss Debbie is scared. I feel like Miss Debbie is going to come for her, and I think it's going to go back and forth for a
I
while.
don't understand why we have the other Debbie on there. Don't get me wrong, I love her, but what the hell's the point? Unless she's the one getting proposed to, Tony's going to sneak on there and propose to her.
Well, that possible, yes. I think that she's just part of the panel, because did you see for a split second Caesar was there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell's that?
I think that Caesar is on the panel too, and I don't know why we get these panels of people that have no insight, because Caesar hasn't successfully gotten a relationship that was healthy. So I'm not exactly.
The way Caesar is with his Ukrainian women, maybe he's going to go after Natalie.
Well, Natalie definitely needs someone to give her a child. So
He would
and wait, wasn't
definitely give her a child because he wants a child.
I was gonna say, on Diaries, Caesar went to go and check how many swimmers he had available.
Yep.
This is actually perfect, guys. We just matched somebody. We just figured it out. Natalie is super, super desperate. She needs a man to give her a child. Caesar is desperate to get a child. He just checked to make sure that he could.
Desperate to get a female. If
Yeah,
a child,
and a pulse is basically all it.
Yeah.
That's all that we're looking for at this point. And as far as I know, cold-blooded, she's still alive.
Yeah.
Natalie is still alive. So yeah, I'm gonna send a DM to Caesar and see if he's interested. And if they end up together, I want credit.
Yeah.
I want credit when they go on the
You
television.
better be invited to the wedding.
Yeah, I want credit because we figured the whole thing out. She can have her baby.
I can't go to the wedding, Dee Dee. You know George's motto: if it's not something you support, keep your mouth shut. And I can't keep my mouth shut, so I can't go.
I don't go to weddings or parties of people that I don't like because I believe in negative energy and I don't want to bring my negative energy.
But Kara, if we go, we can actually punch that, you know what, in the face.
I bring so much negative energy to Natalie. So much.
We can bring her back down to earth.
Yes.
I mean, because she thinks she is the god of gods. Like, every man needs to bow down to her.
Yes.
She's a goddess, and she can't understand why she can't get a man to marry her and give her a baby. It's very confusing for her. She can't figure out what it is, but it's only because she hasn't asked Caesar. All she had to do was ask Caesar one time, and she'd be pregnant, right? Like, it's not even a situation. Oh, let's congratulate Emily and Kobe on the birth of their son, by the way.
Yay, congratulations.
Yes.
He is
Congratulations.
beautiful. Congratulations, you guys. His name is Atum, and this is their third baby. A beautiful family. I'm so happy for them, and we're going to get more of them on Happily Ever After. So hopefully with their growing family, they're going to move out of the basement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, move out of the basement soon. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to be back next Sunday for Happily Ever After episode 2. Possibly Angela's going to make an appearance. We don't know. But she's on the show, and Lauren and Alexi, and it looks like Lauren's getting some elective surgery, so we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that conversation as to, this isn't her first, second, or third, as far as I know, the elective surgeries. So we're going to get into elective surgeries in that conversation as well, because I want to talk about that, about should people be doing that many? Oh, and yeah, I'm gonna try to record something with Sister Wives 2 this week, Portuguese Princess. There's been a lot of craziness. My house has been under construction. But I'm going to try to get it done. Dee Dee, I'm going to reach out to you, and we're going to try to get that done. All right, guys, make sure you're following my co-hosts, Dee Dee Castillo and Kara. They're tagged in this video. And make sure you're following me on all social media platforms at George Mossey, georgemossey.com. Anywhere you get your podcast, type in The George Mossey Show, or anywhere you stream music. Thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you guys really soon. And everybody have a great night.
Have a good night.
Bye. Bye.